to be done, right, for change in Nigeria? Because a change in Nigeria is a change for Africa, because it's the giant of Africa. What's your takes on that?
Of course, my brother. That's why I love your question, because your question are pointing in a direction where if someone could listen, could get something from it and could know something even more, even if I don't speak all, but their mind will take them so far away to think by themselves that this can be happen if this happen. So Nigeria is the most richest country in the whole Africa, the most richest country in the whole Africa, that is arming, that is producing something almost. If you check the income of Nigeria, what they are producing, what Nigeria is producing today is 440.8 billion in a year, US dollar. Nigeria is the most richest country today, but is the most poorest. Is it have the most poorest citizens? No light energy, no source of food or anything, no shelter. Nigeria is going down each and every day. Each and every day we are seeing robbers in Nigeria killing innocent people. We are seeing all sorts kind of terrorism in Nigeria. It is not caused by Nigerian government. It is not caused by Nigerians to have those terrorist group in their country. It is caused by the West, especially UK and America. These people are very dangerous when it came to Nigeria. That's why they know something about the Africa, and they know Africa, the real root of Africa, the pillar of Africa. They knew it. That's why they grab this pillar never to grow, because if that pillar is out, then all African countries are out. Because I remember for a decade, if you remember 300 years ago, Nigeria was there. When they are free, they were fighting for every African country to free and have their own independence. That make Africans today to say we have independent. That so-called independent that they turn now as another slavery independent, because we are not still independent, but we are still saying we are independent while we are ruled by some other peoples and telling us what to do and deciding which person will rule us, because we don't decide it by ourselves. So Nigeria average oil productions, it dropped by 14.69, my brother, percent a year on year to 1.22 million barrel per day. A country that is producing oil 1.22 million barrels a day. That country is still like this. That country is still poor like this. That country's citizens are still crying like this in war, in conflict. I tell you, in any African country that there is no conflict, no war, no terrorist group, that country have no resources. They have no resources. But as far as an African country contains some resources within, that country will be having terrorism, all kind of criminalism in that country, because it will be caused by the West. They created by themselves so that they could have a chance to step their foot in your country and pretending that we want to help you. There is a war in this place. We want to help them. Before helping Africans, we have war in the West. They couldn't quench the fire of that war between Ukraine and Russia. The West couldn't defend themselves.
You're right, bro.
If they really want to stop war or stop any terrorism, I think they should stop Ukraine, help Ukraine, send their militaries to Ukraine before sending their militaries to Niger, Nigeria. What? We don't have problem. They are having millions of problems. They couldn't settle those problems. They are having war. They are having war. They couldn't settle it. I remember vividly, I was very here, and everything happened in front of my eyes when Ukraine war started with Russia. What happened? Italy was afraid to send their military because they are afraid Russia will fire them. Germany was afraid to send their militaries. What were they giving to Ukraine? They were giving Ukraine bottle of water and blanket and food. That's what they were. They go to the border and stop there and give them food, blanket, and come back and leave Ukraine in fire. But now they are sending their militaries to Africa. That's what I made a video last time to tell European Union, before sending your militaries to Niger, send your militaries. If you know your militaries can stop war. No war in Niger. Niger just want you to stay away from them. Stay away from them and settle your continent. European continent is in fire with Russia. So settle that part,
You're right.
So my brother, the MB in the second quarter of 2023 from 1.43 barrel Nigeria is producing in this 2023 million barrel of oil. But Nigeria is still poor. Nigeria needs help. And Nigeria doesn't need help from any other government. But Nigeria needs help of every African youth. We need to stand up for Nigeria, because Nigeria was there for us For every African country, Nigeria was there for Africa. Nigeria was dying for Africa. If you check 300 years ago or 400 years ago, you find out that Nigeria militaries have been dying for many African countries. Example like South Africa, during Nelson Mandela to fight for freedom. So all these things were happening. Right. So today, Nigeria need our help. We need to speak up for Nigeria. We need to stand up. We need to even forget about every other country. Let's come together as one and build up that Nigeria, because it's the most richest country in Africa and it's the most powerful country in Africa. They knew it. Why do they choose the Nigerian president? Sorry, I will mention Bola Tinubu, the Nigerian president, because his own way to come as a president, it have a way. FBI have filed against Bola Tinubu that could make Bola Tinubu unsuccessful to become a president in Nigeria. But why do they push him to become president? Because the FBI was planning to choose Bola Tinubu as their weapon to fight against the countries that are liberating themselves, like Mali and Niger and other places. That's why after Bola Tinubu becoming a leader, in just 1 week they make Bola Tinubu as the chairman of ECOWAS. Why? Bola Tinubu made many presidents there. Why don't they make them chairman of ECOWAS? But they were waiting for someone who they can use, someone who will be ruling a big country that they can use. So that was Bola Tinubu. They see that Bola Tinubu, all the political leaders in Nigeria, they can't use them. They can use only Bola Tinubu. Only Bola Tinubu will be good to use as a weapon to fight against Niger, Mali, Guinea, and other countries that are liberating themselves. So that's why FBI refused to leak those documents against Bola Tinubu. They hide it. This is the threat Bola Tinubu is running away from, for the FBI not to really expose him. So Americans and Westerners, the entire West was threatening Bola Tinubu that if you are not ready to comply with us by invading or suspending these countries that are making coup today, we are going to leak your secret. And you are never going to become a leader. Come on, the FBI.
Yeah, how can ordinary governor Bola Tinubu to own $8 billion US? How comes?
Yeah, my brother.
$8 billion. Where is money from?
If Bola Tinubu today says, I am not going to invade any African country, today I tell you, the West will wake up and tell Nigerians that remove Bola Tinubu because he's a dictator. They will bring out all the secrets about Bola Tinubu, all the wicked and all the evils that Bola Tinubu was doing. They will bring out everything because when Bola Tinubu refused to work with them. This is why Bola Tinubu also, because he is in hungry of power, he have to accept what the West want and do what the West says to make sure that the FBI will not leak his documents to the world. Because that is going to be a disaster for him. So this is what the West is doing in Nigeria. That's why I say, my brother, for Nigeria to be united, I give this advice to Nigerian youths every time. They are the problem of that country. Whatever they are facing today, because they refuse to sit down and unite as one people and forget about the multiple tribes they have in that country. We have a tribal problem in Nigeria that is making Nigeria to stay wherever it is today and making it worse. Because Nigerians believe in tribe. And any country that their youths believe in tribalism, they can never come together as one. And they can never bring any development for themselves. They can see their peace or their development or their way of success, but they cannot get it because why? They are not united. Tribalism is beating them up. It's eating them and finishing them every day. Whatever war you see in Nigeria, all this conflict between tribe and tribe, fighting against between tribe and tribe. So you see, it go into their political system now. Nigerians can never vote for a good leader in Nigeria. Why? Because the youth are full of tribalism in their mentality. They can, when Nigerian youths can forget about this tribe, Igbo or any other Yoruba and this other, forget about it. You are all one. You can come together as one and choose a better thing for your country. Fight for your country to the land that all of you will be free. But as far as this tribalism stay in their mentality, they will still always have a fake leaders, a puppet leaders that will rule them. Because at the end of the day, they couldn't do nothing. They were saying, Bola Tinubu rigged the election, Bola Tinubu. They can't find anything. I told them, you can't remove this man, and you can never win when you go to court. I make it clear to them even before they will go to court. Because I knew that Nigeria as a tribalism country, that they are based on tribes. And everything in their mentality is about tribe. Everybody want to defend their tribes. Nobody want to think about the country, but everybody is thinking about my tribe, my side, my region, my country, my city, my tribe. Tribe is the biggest problem in Nigeria. If Nigerian youth can forget about tribe and come together as one, They are the most encouraging youths when it came to freedom. But when it came to their own country, they have tribal problem. But Nigerians,
Okay, thank you
youths
very
are
much.
very good
Thank you
in
very
freedom.
much.
Thank you so much, brother.
Thank you very much, Pandi Master. Thank you very much for hitting Nigeria on the tribal aspect. We are in, like for Rwanda got more tribal accession than Nigeria, but they're able to cope up because after the genocide, they come together.
Yeah.
They have a focus-minded leader who can bring them together, to make the country aware and build the country to
that's the
unexpected.
problem in Nigeria right now. That's the problem in Nigeria right now. There's no single person who will come out as a Pan-African or as a freedom fighter and said, Nigerian youth, let's come together. If anyone came out, he will say, oh, my tribe. They have giants, they have great peoples, but what do those great people do? They defend their tribe instead of calling all Nigerians together and taking the front line, saying that if I am a Nigerian today, if I'm a Nigerian today, I will stood up and say, Nigerians, let's come together. I will forget about which tribe I came from. I will forget about that, but I will call on to all Nigerian youths to come together as one and let's fight for that country. Let's fight for our liberation. That is the problem in Nigeria. Yeah.
You're right, brother. You're right. Thank you very much for clearing this. I think all our followers already catch up the reality of it. Like people will be saying Nigeria. Now you already heard from the own Pandi Master, who is like I was saying. I'm very blessed to have you on this particular platform. As we're going to take you to the next topic, we don't want to spend more time because people will be viewers. So we're going to trend number 3. African Union and the ECOWAS is termed as sell out to Africa, right? For us to achieve what we want, are we to abandon or to restructure?
Yeah, when you talk about African Union and ECOWAS, these are organizations or these are units that I always also talk about African Union and ECOWAS. But I will tell you that these unions you are talking about or organizations you are talking about, these two organizations were not built by we the Africans, and they are not controlled by we the Africans, and they are not organized by we the Africans, and they can never be organized by we the Africans if we are not ready to liberate ourselves. This African Union you are seeing to be abandoned or to restructure, we can't restructure this one we have right now. We have to abandon this African Union, and this so-called ECOWAS should be abandoned and deleted from Africa. If there should be any other African organization after the liberation and deletion of African Union and ECOWAS, then we can come up with our own beautiful organization that we can build for Africa. It will be there for all Africa. We don't need ECOWAS. If we don't need it, we don't need African Union. If we need African Union, it should be constructed and built and found by Africans themselves and ruled by themselves, not by you came, my brother. ECOWAS, I call that one a criminal organization or a terrorist organization that was built by the West to make sure that it defends them when they go to Africa to steal our resources. ECOWAS will defend them. ECOWAS doesn't belong to Africans. It belongs to the West. Because ECOWAS always defend the West, defend the part of the West. ECOWAS was never there to defend Africa. If ECOWAS was there to defend Africa, ECOWAS should defend Mali when they do coup to liberate themselves from France. ECOWAS should defend Niger. ECOWAS should defend Guinea. ECOWAS should defend Sudan. ECOWAS should defend all these countries, Burkina Faso. Because why I say ECOWAS should defend them? If ECOWAS is there for Africa, then ECOWAS will see that, oh, look, our African country want to liberate themselves from colonialism or slavery, so we will help them. So you see, ECOWAS will stand and say, it's right, we are no more going to accept no West colonialism or no foreign rule in Africa anymore. But ECOWAS didn't do that. What was ECOWAS doing? Helping the West to get their hand on top of Niger, Mali, and Burkina again. An ECOWAS that we call, they have soldiers that are African soldiers. They are ready to even fire Niger today or make war in Niger today because in the name of they want to help the West. They want the West to be proud of them, not Africans to be proud of them. So ECOWAS is not for Africa, and Africans are not the owner, and ECOWAS will never belong to Africans. So it should be banished or abandoned or demolished and removed from Africa because it is not built by us. That is ECOWAS. When we go to African Union, we see an African Union. When African Union want to have a meeting to talk about some development in Africa. African Union, sometimes they think about it, how to develop Africa. But what is the problem that they couldn't be successful to make those projects, development projects in Africa? Because their enemies already know what they plan. And if it is a development for Africa, they will find another way to destroy that plan of African Union. I remember when African Union says they want to build a bank for Africa, the African Bank. Okay, when they have that meeting, they have an European Union Council sitting down there. They have the European Union Secretariat sitting down there in Africa, in an African Union meeting. They sit down and write down whatever African Union plan to make an African bank, so that Africans will not save their money outside of Africa. They came back. When they came back, they hold a meeting in African Union without calling any single African Union person. They make their own European Union Parliament meeting. Now they have to discuss what Africans plan to build African bank. They see that when Africans build their own bank, it will distract them from going to Africa, and it can even distract them from getting any benefit that they get from Africa. So it cannot happen. What are they going to do now? They discuss about this. What are they going to do to stop Africans from building their own bank? And they success. They get successful. Today Africa have no bank. We have no bank in Africa. They get successful by stopping that plan, that progressive plan of African Union. So why, when African Union, today when you go to Niger, Niger was suspended by African Union. Mali was suspended by African Union. So African Union also is not there for us. Why are they suspending if they African Union? Why are they suspending African country for saying that I want to get myself? My brother, if I am here today to support you and you said, look, I want to do this so that I will be free, and I know when you do it, you will be free. So will I stop you from doing that? And I said, I am here to help you, or I am here to protect you. But you said, no, look, if I go here, I will die. I want to go this way. And I know you are right to go that way. You are right, but I want to stop you from not going there. I want you to go places where you will die. So am I there for you? No, I'm not there for you. So African Union is never there for Africans. They are there for the West. These are things that are built by the West and constructed by the West. And every rule and regulation we have in African Union is controlled by the West. There is no rule that doesn't favor West. But there are thousands of rules in African Union that doesn't favor Africa itself. And that African Union is in Africa, center of Africa. But they have no single rule that can benefit Africa or that can favor Africa. All the rules there and regulations, all constructions are favoring only West. So these things should be abandoned, my brother. That's my take on it. Should be abandoned. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Pandi. You already know, it's a very sellout organization that is out there, to sponsor whatever progress in Africa. They use the ECOWAS because they cannot come directly. They use indirect. Always this is the way that they used to do. So they use ECOWAS and the African Union to do their mind games. So thank you very much, Pandi. As I take it to the fourth question, most of the Africans right now, because Africa with 1.3 billion people, we're looking at ourselves. Being an individual country cannot help us. We cannot able to match the world economy, right? And we have the resources. So it has come to our mind that all Africans should come together and make a united Africa, right?
Yeah.
Borderless Africa, free trade area, one passport, one military to resist the world, because any country cannot able to resist without coming together as one Africa. When we come together as one Africa, we can able to resist the world. So do you think we can achieve this?
Yeah, it is possible to achieve it when we are ready. It is possible, very possible, and very simple and very fast. Within 2 years, Africa can come together as one. When Africans are ready, within just 2 years, we can come together as one and build up our own African bank within 2 years, and build up one currency for Africa within 2 years, a currency that will be built on gold. Africa have gold that can build currency for Africa. That will be more powerful than any other currency. Today, when you have 10 euro, you send it to your country in Africa. It is big money. It should not be like that. African money, by right, when you have African currency, 1 or 10 of African currency, when you have 10 African currency, you should use it and change it in euro. It should become 100 euro. Why? Because it will be built on gold.
You're right. Because it is backed with gold.
But today, we are seeing peoples who have no gold, have gold on their currency. We who produce gold, we have no gold on our currency. Our currency is not even constructed by us, constructed by them. They build gold currency for themselves and build empty paper for Africans. Today, I will show you something, my brother. This is very good because I have something here. This is Gambian $20, my brother.
Okay.
This is European 20 euro, my brother. I am going to show you the differences between currencies. Let's just look at this. This is Gambian $20. Just look at it, how it is. You know, I want people to look at it very well. And look at this euro here. Look at how it is pressed. Look at how it is heavy. Look at how it is heavy. Look at these signs here. These signs. Are you seeing this?
Yeah, I see.
Okay, look
I
at
see
this.
them. I see
Do
them.
you see the sign on it? Do you see the sign on the corner?
I see.
Do you see any sign?
Nothing.
Good.
Nothing.
You see this one have this? You see this one have this?
I see.
This one.
I
You
see.
It have this?
Yeah, I see.
But this African currency doesn't have it. Why? My brother. Because they build up their own currency. This is an African natural resource. This is built on African natural resource. This one we have here. This is Africa. This is Africans' own. But they build this currency for Gambia without having it. They build only empty paper. This is a paper with plastic.
A paper.
They build for
You're right.
And their own is stronger than our own. So I think Africa coming together as one, it is possible. There's nothing like it is not possible. If people say it is not possible, I see them as people who are not thinking far. They are thinking so short and they can't know. If you are thinking far, you will know that for Africa to come together as one, and it has already begun, my brother. Because what you are doing today, I am so proud of you that you could bring African youth together from different countries. That is the beginning of this revolution and beginning of Africans coming together as one. And you are one of the peoples bringing African youth together as one. Because I saw your WhatsApp group. We have different peoples there from different countries. So that is an improvement to so that Africa can come together as one and build one currency for themselves, one passport, borderless Africans, and have one president and even have one military unit that could stand for Africa. Come on, we are very strong. Our militaries are very strong when we come together as one. There is nobody in this world that could distract or that could do anything in Africa without the concern of African militaries. African militaries are very strong. So my brother, my take on this is it is possible. I give the courage to every African. Put this in your mind, but we must deal with each and every African youth must deal with your own mindset. Believe in this, that when you see a Sierra Leonean, I'm from Gambia, but when I see a Sierra Leonean, I see them as my brothers and sisters. I don't see them as people from Sierra Leone. When I see a Ghanaian, I appreciate them. Right. I see them as my brothers and sisters. So the same thing each and every African youth must do. This is mindset work. We must deal with the mindset. Thank you so much, my brother, for that question.
Thank you very much. Why I bring up this question, because it is in the agenda of We for Africa. Right now, we are in the middle of the point where we have this agenda to articulate in 2024. What we did here is to have ambassadors in all these countries. We already got 24 ambassadors in 24 countries. We are working for 30 countries. Once we have these 30 countries, we already open WhatsApp group in all these 30 countries wherein we can engage offline meetings. Yeah. So we can propose a day in 2024, inshallah. We are going to propose a day when all these countries will be marked for borderless Africa. That's our main agenda right now. As we see, we Africa, Gambia, we Africa, this, we Africa. So we all Egypt, Cairo,